If you're still paying designers for thumbnails, photographers for headshots, or videographers for B-roll, you're lighting money on fire. And if you're not using AI for content creation yet, you are so behind. Here's the reality that most gym owners, coaches, fitness entrepreneurs, they're wasting hours every week trying to create content that looks mid. You're fumbling through Canva, you're paying hundreds for a single photo shoot, you're using the same stock footage as everyone else. And the worst part, the people who figured out AI right now are running laps around you. So in this video, I'm going to show you the entire system, the thumbnails, the headshots, the still images, the video B-roll, all created with AI. So is this landing page. Now, all looking like you hired a professional marketing team. This isn't theory. These are the exact SOPs step by step that you can steal today. There'll be a link in the description to do that. We're covering 4 sections: thumbnail creation, how to pull out scroll stopping thumbnails for YouTube. Second will be pro headshots, no photographer needed. Third would be images for your content. And fourth, AI B-roll that actually looks like you. So if you're ready to stop overpaying, stop wasting time, and start creating content that actually looks premium, let's get into it. Okay, welcome to this section of creating like insanely awesome thumbnails. So this is gonna go over a video walkthrough of this SOP. The goal is to get really high CTR YouTube stuff, or YouTube thumbnails, right? And then I'll show you how I do it, to get like really solid things. So, we're gonna go over things step by step. Now, I have this in a different monitor. Okay. So what we're gonna do is the first step is using GPT. You could use Claude if you want. I like GPT because it has a bunch of memory on me. Okay, so we're gonna go this first step one. We're gonna paste this like so. Okay, and then this is if you don't have a script. Okay, or well, it needs more context, right? So it's gonna ask you all these questions. Now, for simplicity, for this demo, I'm going to use a video that I've already done. So I'm going to use the script, the 3 revenue killers destroying your gyms and how to fix them today. I'm going to just go download to TXT. Okay. And so if you have the script and the title and all that stuff done, then by all means, you don't really need to answer all these questions. Okay. So I'm just going to say, you don't need to ask me all the questions, most of which is going to be answered in this script. Here's the script for the video. I'm giving you this prompt as a demo, running someone through a QA on how to actually use the prompt. Now that step 1 is done, we're going to open. All you need 4 clarifications. Do you want my face on it? My face, don't worry, just general is fine. Not after. Pick the 2 4-word text. You pick the text. For best CTR, let's click through rate. Should we include any props? I don't care. You figure out. Background. I don't care. You figure it out. You are the greatest of all time YouTube strat for thumbnails. Okay, we'll shut him up. So version A. We're going to now open Gemini. All right, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to Gemini. We're gonna create image. We're gonna basically, we're gonna just literally copy and paste this. Okay. Create image. Create image. It's important to make sure it's on thinking. You'll get a much better image. Okay. Now you can mess around with this structure. You don't have to follow 1-to-1. I just tested this a bunch. This is the best way I get it. So I like using Gemini because it always has the best output, but then I'm going to show you what to do next. Okay. So this is pretty good. I just wanted to, preferably, can you make the dude, man, zoom out a little bit? Make him wear a suit. Okay. So now we're going to go to the next step. Okay. There's a method to the madness. You could, in essence, or in theory, use this image 1-to-1. But what's the point? Because you don't want some generic AI dude as your thumbnail. It would make more sense if you did it yourself. So before getting to, or vidIQ, we're going to go over to any site, resize image. Just type that in Google. There's a bunch that are free. It doesn't matter. And we're going to put this, because it's such a big file, it's like it was like 6 MB. We're gonna uh, resize it to 50%. Okay, and now we're gonna go over to vidIQ. This is my preference, or what I would recommend you guys use. There's other softwares, but like, just why change it? Like, don't like don't change it. So now there's a couple options. If I go back to the SOP here, all right, with vidIQ, there's option A, which is the reference, face, and prompt, and then option B is reference and prompt only, no face. Okay, so um, you get a good idea of what you want from Gemini, and then you can even I'm going to copy this thumbnail, right? I'm going to just put the paste. I'm going to paste this right here with my face. Okay. That's option one. There's an error. Why? Okay. Now it's going. Another option you could do is you could take the reference of the image that we have here. Okay. And you can literally just press create, or you could press create plus the thumbnail, or you're just going to create it with the reference and literally nothing else. Or you can do it with your face. Okay, and then the last one would be just the reference without the face. No text, no nothing. Well, I think I went too fast to show you the different options, but nevertheless, here is the first one on vidIQ with just my face and the prompt. It's not bad. But as you can see, the one that Gemini did was really, really solid. So I like revenue killers or profit drain. I'm going to go with this. Okay. So they basically took the image from Gemini and stuck it in here. So now what I could do, sometimes this isn't perfect, is I'm just going to, so you can upload your own face. Now it's important to have your face. Well, later on, you'll be able to make, like, this was done by AI. My headshot. I have a different SOP showing and explaining how to do that. Okay. But anyways, you want to try all these approaches because some are better, some are worse, whatever. Nevertheless, this is pretty freaking solid, right? And then we download it. You'll see this thumbnail on a video coming soon to you. So now, we're going to go back to here and say, give me a beat. Okay. And we're going to basically repeat the process. So at this point, if you're watching this at this point and you have the first thumbnail, great. I always recommend to have 3 because, especially if you're using this for YouTube, you can split test 3 versions. So there's no reason you shouldn't. Every single person does that. So again, we're going to first paste this into Gemini. Then I'm going to paste this into vidIQ with my face. But this isn't bad. This is kind of like really red, honestly. I'm literally just going to say this is way too much red. Or sometimes if you want, you can literally just say to GPT, hey, this is what I would do, honestly. I'm going to post a screenshot and be like, yo, this was how it came out. Way too much red, overkill. Let's go to vidIQ. Yeah, it's the same thing, right? This is very distracting. But honestly, this one's not terrible. This is not awful. I'll download that. So technically, no, this isn't version 3, but whatever. This is probably just going to be a different prompt altogether, but whatever. Okay, so this is better. I like this. It's pretty cool. This is going to be another option. Now, you don't need to make 100,000 options per video. You definitely need 3, though. Okay. I like having options, right? It's not going to hurt. I'll get rid of this tab. Let's go to vidIQ. Yeah, so you see it's got similar structure, but just Gemini outperforms it. This isn't bad. This is like a B or a B minus, but the Gemini one is just so much better. I think it's just because it can do better details, right? And I really like the blue, so I'm just gonna go to resize the image. So I've resized the image. I'm just gonna see if I just put the reference like I did last time, how that will come out. I'm gonna do it two ways. I'm gonna do it with the shrunk image just by itself, or I'll just do it this way. I was gonna do this with the prompt, but I'll just do it this way. That should come out okay. Because then I'll just face swap myself. And then I'm gonna go here. I know I'm going back and forth. Don't get confused. My brain can process things faster. This was the fourth version of it where it was like Hermosi kind of style. It's not terrible to be honest. So I'm just gonna resize that. Now if I come back here, now this is pretty solid. So what we're gonna do, these all look pretty similar. We're just gonna face swap. Sometimes the face swap doesn't work like 100%. But we're gonna see. This one might not work that well, to be honest. Okay, let me go download this. Actually, there we go. That's like freaking perfect. Okay, download. Cool. And now we're gonna do the last one where we'll just do it this way. We'll just upload the reference of this one and let it go. And I'll do it with the reference and my face. But typically when I do that, it doesn't come out well. Because it like tries to get the reference as the photo and then my face on the other half of the screen or whatever. That's what I mean. There's no right way or wrong way to do this. Like there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat here. But yeah, this is pretty solid, right? This is almost one-to-one of what Gemini did. The only thing we're gonna do is I'm just showing you a different thing if you want to do it that way. But we're gonna basically just face swap. Yeah, so this didn't come out that great, but that's because it's like we're combining the reference on the face swap, so I wouldn't recommend that. And then I don't think there's a really giant difference between any of these. I don't like how this guy's wearing a polo, but whatever. Let's go and switch my face. There we go. Now, in vidIQ itself, there is also, other than face swap, you could like ask it to like change stuff. You could add images, stickers, whatever, but I don't really mess with that because typically this process works so well where you don't really need to do anything. There's not a giant point in like needing to add your logo or anything. So now we'll exit out of here. I'm just gonna make sure that I add it to my proper drive, and then just delete everything. All right, so if we recap, here are the 4 that I've done. Pretty solid. You can really only choose 3, but now I'm going to put them into the Google Drive. So when I finish filming this video, it's done. So that's the whole flow. I know it seems complicated because it is, but I mean, I ran through this in like 14 minutes while demoing it. And you have 3, technically 4 thumbnails right now. And you don't have to pay for it. So that's worth it. For 15 minutes, I just saved you basically at least $50 in hiring someone to make the thumbnails at minimum. And then, this is the reference flow. I will attach this video to here. Yeah. Okay, hello, and welcome to basically section 2 of this, which was going to be how to do still images for B-roll if you need that, or also for things like graphics or, graphic design, carousel stuff, things like that. So it's kind of section A and section B, but it makes sense to put them in the same thing. So, yeah, for the primary thing, we're going to use Gemini. Okay, now one thing to note is just keep rendering the same prompt until you like the output with Gemini. Okay, so I'm going to show you a bunch of things. Now, it's not necessarily 100% perfect, but it's pretty good in terms of AI renders. Okay, and this was even before the most recent Nano Banana version 3. Okay, if I scroll all the way down, this is version 3. This was done version 2. This is version 3. It's kind of uncanny that like it's insanely different, but like in the best way possible. Okay, so we're gonna go to our handy dandy Gemini, and we're gonna go to ChatGPT. All right. So with Gemini, again, you're gonna create an image. You're gonna make sure it's on thinking, because especially if you have Pro. All right. Now, in this section, the before one was how to do the thumbnails. You don't really need to use vidIQ or anything else for the face swaps because you're going to give Gemini a reference of you. Okay? So for the still images, the best use cases would be Instagram or presentations or social posts or like a headshot. Oh, well, the headshots I'll show you after. That's really simple. I'll show you later. Like the headshots is really simple. But this is more so like if you're, for B-roll or things like that, okay? So what you want to do is you're going to make a prompt. All right, so we're going to first go over here, and you're going to make a ultra detailed prompt in GPT. Okay, you're going to tell GPT exactly what you need, the scene, the lighting, whatever it is. Okay, what I'll do here is I'm going to ask it to generate me a prompt. One sec. Okay, so here's the universal image prompt builder. I'm going to put this in the sub tab here. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how to use it live. So let's go to new chat. I'm going to paste this. Okay, and then blah 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 blah. What is the scene? So let me just voice message this. All right, what is the scene? Toronto downtown, me walking in like the rain, and everybody has an umbrella, and my umbrella is yellow. The subject, it's me. I'm going to give you a reference of my face. The movie is going to be like cinematic, ultra realistic. The lighting, I kind of answered that already. The colors, ultra hyper realistic. I'm giving you the props, the clothing. I'm in a suit. And any required background elements, I kind of answered most of this. Any references, I'm going to give you that. What should not appear? I don't care. Any text overlay for this? Absolutely not. Okay, I just typed that out. But what I realized is I need to also give it like a reference of my face. So let me do that really quick. Okay, so I'm giving it references that it can, use as the prompt. And now, let it run. Okay, so actually this is not specific enough. I want you 3x the detail. 3K characters minimum. Now, one thing as it's doing that I want to mention is depending where you put it, right, you also need to tell it the aspect. Meaning, it depends where you're using it for, right? For this, I don't really care because of like, I'm just going to use this in general. All right, but now that the prompt is probably done, remember, AI, the more info you give it, the better. Okay, so now create image. I'm going to paste that. I'm going to upload files. I'll give it the same files. Sometimes it's a good idea to give it more references. Sometimes it's not, to be honest. And then let it do its thing. I'm just going to pause this. So, boom. Look, that's pretty surreal. Okay, so now I'm going to tell it, I really like that. I just want more people, more umbrellas. Make it look like that downtown area in Japan where there's so many people that like cross, and I'm like the only one, center of attention with the yellow umbrella. Okay, so that is like surreal. That is really crazy, and that looks awesome. I mean, it looks a little AI, especially because of how they placed me, but like, especially if I'm going to use this for like a 2-second slide for B-roll, like I wouldn't post this on Instagram as it is right now. I'll show you what to do for Instagram in a sec. But for the purpose, for whatever reason, if I need to use that, that's pretty nuts. So one other thing in this section that I want to mention is make sure you're organizing, the stuff for whenever you do it so you can go back to it, right? So I have different folders. Later in this doc, I'm going to give you some suggestions on what to do for sure. So now that we have finished that one, we're going to go to section B, okay? Which is like brand graphics for your brand or other brands or whatever the case is. If you're going to make a presentation, a pitch deck, especially carousels, okay? Anything that wants to match, like if you have a client or your brand. Okay, so an example I can give you really easy is recently, as a time of making this, Spotify Rap came out. So I downloaded those images and I spoofed it. And because it's a good pattern interrupt, right? And this was all done through Gemini. Pretty cool stuff. I also did this one through Gemini as well, the official apology statement. Now, because especially Gemini Pro 3 allows like really ridiculously good text. A lot of AIs, when you would give them like things to work with text, they wouldn't do it. Now they have like the ability to do it, and it's like insane. Like graphic designers are out of a job. Another example I can give you is a YouTube video that I made. I made a bunch of like cartoon-ish, I don't know what you would want to call this, like as if I'm drawing on a chalkboard type of graphics, because this makes it visually appealing. This was all done through Gemini. Okay, pretty cool stuff. So, if you are going to make it for your brand, okay, whatever that is, you're going to upload your logo, you could even screenshot the website, the brand colors, whatever. Okay, this is specific to where if you're going to do it for someone, but like just change the wording specifically to you. Okay, so I already made the brand translator, mega prompt, whatever. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that. And what I will do is I will use the logos of like Ardent. Let me just upload that. Let's just see how that works. Brand observations. Okay, match the brands, da, 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 what it feels like, da, 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 da. So now, I'm ready. Tell me the first image you need, the purpose, and the aspect ratio. Okay, so let's say I want to make a simple infographic, visually appealing, high UI and GUI, cartoon, cartoon-ish, like Hermosi does with the stick figures. The topic will be about, I don't know. I'm not sure. Give me some ideas. Okay, cool. The 4 core systems, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. All right, I like this. So now, let's make the skeleton of the carousel with text, slide / image 1, and so on. And then we will turn into ultra detailed prompts for Gemini, one step at a time. Blah, 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 blah. Let it run. Cool. Okay, cool. Lock it in. Now give me the prompt. Give me prompt. Pick by pick, not all at once. Ultra detailed, so I can put into Gemini. Now I'm going to go over to Gemini. And for Gemini, it's really important, obviously, whatever you decide on in terms of like the logo, whether it's for you, someone else, or if you have an example of like a cartoon, whatever, you can feed it that. As a matter of fact, let me feed it the example that I showed you on the Gamma. So it has an idea of like the cartoons. Okay, and I will come back to you when this is done, unless there's something that I need to show you. Okay, so now that's done. And honestly, I'm going to post this on my Instagram. It's pretty solid. The only thing that I had to do was it kept originally messing up where it was formatting not for Instagram. So then I just had to say, reformat it to an Instagram post or carousel, and then it got the gist of it after 2 times messing up. The only thing left is now that that's done, as GPT already suggested, I would like now a caption in my style as before. So then I have the caption done. So caption's now done. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to put that in my notes. So it's easier on my phone. I'm going to transfer the pictures to my phone. Or, I mean, you could put it to the drive. But yeah, here is the final thing. You can see they all look like this is made by like a really high professional designer. So I just went ahead and posted that to my Instagram. I'll show you. This is the future of socials. You know, it's right there. And it looks pretty solid along with the same branding, you know. If you wanted a hyper-specific one for cartoon, there you go. There you have it. Now, if you don't like it, re-render it. But obviously, remember, the more detailed the prompt, the better. That's why I like literally told GPT to give me like a 3,000 tick character one. You don't really need a face swap, especially if you're going to do the top one for like B-rolls or whatever. And you don't need to have like, you don't need to say no text. Like you could definitely add a text, okay? Yeah. Okay, this is going to be a really, really simple video walkthrough of how to do pro headshots with Gemini Pro. So honestly, the easiest way to do this, if you're seeing this and you have access to the stock, just go to File, go to Download, go to TXT. I'm not even going to walk you through the whole SOP. I'm going to then take this over to GPT. If I can spell it. There we go. Okay. Give me a really detailed prompt for me to do this in a suit. And I'm going to give it, this is why it's important to do the organization of the drive files. I'm going to give it, so I'm going to go to, so I would recommend you use actual photos of yourself this time. It'll give the, in my opinion, it'll give the best variation of AI. So these are AI headshots. I will show you how I got these, literally following the same thing that I'm about to show you. So I'm just going to take a screenshot of my dumbass face. I'll take a couple. Okay. Here's me in, I think that was, no, that was Spain. That's sufficient. I don't know, honestly have that many photos of my face, like front facing. Here's a good one. And this was a good one. Okay, so that's enough. That's 5. So I'm going to give it to GPT. And I'm going to let us do this thing. Okay. At the same time, I'm going to go over to Gemini. And I'm going to make sure to click on Create Image. Make sure it's on Thinking. Okay. And then honestly, just so it doesn't get confused, I'll just give it like the best one of this, which is probably that one. And copy and paste this. And boom. Okay, and boom. Just like that, you have a professional looking ass headshot that you can use for LinkedIn, or you can even use for thumbnails. That's the most useful thing of this, honestly. You could use this for creating your thumbnails of your face, and you don't have to like do a headshot. Now, is it perfect? No, but is it like 95% there? Yes, and that's the most important thing. Especially because you could literally use this and put your face on thumbnails. The only thing it messed up was I forgot my glasses. So I gave it my references, and now we're here. Okay, so that's as straightforward as it is. Like, you could go through this entire SOP if you want, and there's prompts here and whatnot, but honestly, AI is really smart. You don't need to waste your time with that, but you can if you want. But here's the video, and follow what I did. All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the final video section of the B-roll creation. We're going to walk through exactly how to do it, what to do, etc. All right, so if you're new here or whatever, you came back to this video, I have a different monitor with everything going on, in case you're wondering how I could read this. But this is the tools. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use GPT to make a prompt. Okay, so you can copy and paste this exactly how it is. You know, let's say you don't even know what you want to do, for example. You could even ask GPT like I did here, basically give me an idea of what to do. And so then it gave me a suggestion of window reflection shot, which I used to test and make the SOP, as well as walking into frame plus sit down. So here's what we're going to do. This prompt that you have access to, I'm going to paste this, right? And I'm going to show you live, and then I'm going to copy what is suggested here, like for B-roll. Okay. And then here, redo it. Here, fill in the gaps. Here is MVP, which is like a term for like draft. So, walking into frame, okay? We're going to use this prompt to use every single thing. Redo it, or actually, it just, I don't know why it says tool recommendation. It's kind of redundant, but whatever. I'm going to take this, copy it as is. I'm just going to remove the part where it says duration. You don't, you could leave that. Tool, it's redundant. Okay, I'll show you why. But now we're going to go over to Sora. Okay, the reason we're starting with Sora is it takes forever, especially because so many people use this. Now, what's important to note is Sora could do, which I didn't know at the time, Sora could do both vertical and like portrait and landscape, which is awesome in case you need it, depending on what you need it for. You could run the same prompt for landscape and portrait, because it makes it easier for if you need B-roll for shorts or long form. However, I don't have the ability to screen share with my mobile, but in order to make a character, so yourself basically, you need to use the mobile app. Okay, it's really straightforward. It takes like 2 minutes. Just do it sparingly. All right. Now, we create click video. Okay, and we're gonna paste this. I always want you to use Pro because I tested this on the non-Pro one and it was shit. All right. And I will do this both on portrait and landscape. The resolution, do you need it to be on high? Not really. The duration, you can keep it to 10 seconds unless you need it for whatever reason to be beyond that. All right. So I'm going to let that run. Oh, I didn't click myself. Damn it. Well, that'll give you another example. Okay, I'm going to now click myself. Same thing. And I'm going to run it one more time. and I'm going to change this one to landscape. Okay, so now it's probably going to take about 15 minutes, give or take. Now you don't have to use a character, okay? There's a bunch already where celebrities are just letting you use them for whatever reason. You don't have to use a character if you don't want to. You don't have to use styles if you don't want to. But why not? You know, here, I'll show you another example. Same prompt. This will just be in the theme of, oh, I can only generate 3 at a time. Okay, so I can't show you that. Nonetheless, you don't have to do the themes. You don't have to do any of that. And then when this is done, make sure you download it and you put it in the proper drive. That's if you want to use it, okay? So just to recap, character creation is only on mobile. You should always use Sora 2 on Pro. Now, ChatGPT Pro is required so you don't have to pay an additional insane amount of money. I pay an average of 300 Canadian a month for GPT Pro, which allows me to get like 10,000 credits, or basically 2,000 clips at 5 each, which is, I'm never going to run out, right? And because so many people use this, and because it's free for everybody, it takes forever. But for whatever reason, when I tested this, it didn't render my glasses. Maybe it will this time, but I mean, my glasses make me look who I am, but whatever. Now we're going to go over to Higgsfield, okay? So, again, same prompt, copy and paste that. We're going to go over to Higgsfield. Now, Higgsfield is paid, okay, but it's really good. It's not that expensive. So if we go over the pricing of Higgsfield really quick, it's basically about, I don't know, like 40-ish videos a month, which if you're using this for the purpose of B-roll like I am, and not to make like a full YouTube video, then this is sufficient for $50. That's all you would really need. I guess it depends how many videos you're making as well, but nevertheless, we're going to go over to video. We're going to create video. Like, they do images as well, but never really tested with that. We're going to click create video. All right. For all of this stuff, the general, there's just different options you could choose from. I would recommend using, at least the time recording this as of December 7th, Google VO 3.1. It is really, really, really good. Okay. Then we're going to put the prompt here. Okay. We're going to click ingredients. And ingredients, you can put up to 3 different things. I'm going to put a photo of myself. Okay. Lighting, camera, setting, subject. One thing I would recommend, though, for subject, make sure to use the photo ingredient as reference 1-to-1 for subject. Okay, you don't have to do this, so sometimes it works. Now, the multi-shot mode, you don't need this. It's only for, like, if you want, well, multiple shots in the video, okay? Pretty straightforward. You're going to stick with the model, and the quality. Do you really need 1080p? Absolutely not, okay? And then you go down here to duration. For this, because it's 4 seconds, like, you don't, like, this is B-roll, right? You don't need 8 seconds, 6 seconds. Like, 4 seconds is very sufficient, all right? Anything other than that, you don't really need to do. You just pretty much at this point click generate and let it do its thing. Now, this is completely optional, but you get 3 of these a day, and you can do this if you would like as well on Gemini. So I'm going to go over to Sora, and I'm just going to copy that prompt because I said about myself. You're going to click video, make sure it's on thinking, and again, upload your photo, okay? And then let it run, okay? Fun fact, this AI photo was done through, I'm having a hard time fulfilling. Wow, that's the first time I've ever seen that. Okay, I was able to get it to work, although I forgot to change my face. So maybe, let me let it run, and then I'll see how it comes out. But it's definitely not going to look like me, but that's fine. I'll show you the other options. Okay, so Higgsfield is typically the first one to finish because it's paid, so not as many people are using it. But here is the example. Now, for whatever reason, I'm not here. So we can go to edit, and I'm going to add my photo again. And now it doesn't cost as much. apparently. So I'm going to let that run again. Okay, in the meantime, we are back with Gemini Pro. It is very, very similar to the other one that we just did, but now I'm going to say do the same thing again, but add me into it with a suit and 6 seconds. Okay, and we're back. Here we go. The computer just appeared out of nowhere. See, sometimes AI is not perfect. Eventually, this will be insane in terms of a render, but that's sufficient enough for the most part. One thing I'll show you as we wait is make sure you're organizing your stuff, whatever that is. Okay, so I have a drive in my drive called Socials. Okay, pretty simple. And I also have a section here for pictures, B-roll, whatever. So I go over to the video section. I have all this stuff from when I was doing like training shit. Now I have the drive for B-roll, business B-roll. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a new folder here and call it, what was the name of this stuff? Sitting down at computer / desk. Well, that's sufficient enough. And then, okay, pretty simple. I'm just going to upload this folder, or to this folder. I'm going to upload this video. And now I will wait for Gemini's done. I will now go back to Higgsfield, and this is done. And it's much better. Okay, this looks very AI-y. When I did the original test for the first couple, it didn't look as bad by any means, but it's never always going to be perfect. I'll show you some other examples. I'm hoping that Sora, and this is why I also like using different platforms. The same thing with the thumbnails. If I show you some examples of what I did before testing, is this was on Higgsfield, and this was on Sora. And so it's pretty solid. There was also, this was one I tested like literally an hour ago before filming this video. This one was on Gemini. And this one was on I don't actually remember. This one, this was very AI-y. This was like just on Gemini, or not Gemini. This was, and then this was Sora, but not terrible. I do not have that big of a forehead. Anyways, let's see if Sora finished, and then we can put a wrap on this. Okay, so sometimes I think Sora just crashes the computer. It's like too big or generating them all at the same time. However, it was done on the mobile app, and then I just downloaded it. Here was the first one where I forgot to put an image of myself, right? Also, I don't know why it's so loud. Not terrible, but I think this is just a really hard prompt for AI to pull off, because like it's getting messed up. I never had issues with doing this before. Like, cause the laptop doesn't open that way. And finally, vertical. I don't know why this is so loud. That does not look like me at all. I look like I have a disease. So it's not perfect, but it is what it is. It's usable, especially for the sake of B-roll. So that's pretty much it in terms of this run-through. We've gone through all of that in terms of the QA checklist. You could do that. The file organization, do that how you would like. The tool comparison, the version history. And yeah, I mean, if you want this whole document, just there's going to be a link below to get that. Okay, so now that is the full system. Thumbnails, headshots, still images, B-roll, all using AI without paying a team. You have everything you need to create professional content on your own. Now, please, if this was valuable, do me a favor, hit subscribe and the bell. I'm going to be dropping more systems like this on AI, content, marketing, operations, everything that you need to actually grow without burning out or burning cash. And if you want the entire full resource, the whole prompts, SOPs, the cheat sheets, everything from this video in one place, go to the link below, and it'll be the AI content creation playbook. The link's in the description. It's free. Just go download it. You have the whole thing, the whole blueprint. Everything's there. I appreciate you watching. Go and create something. I'll see you in the next video.